You want to change, upgrade, elevate your life, then you've got to be prepared to ask some tough questions and then take action. Let's talk about it. And just in case we haven't met, my name is Star Monroe, licensed psychotherapist, and I teach high standards women just like you to get what they want always. The question that is going to open the doorway into you living the life of your dreams is, what are you doing right now that isn't in alignment with your higher self, and what do you need to stop or start doing? Between you and me, this is the question that is going to open up the doorways into you becoming the woman you've always wanted to be. It certainly transformed my life from one of destructive, where I was an addict, an alcoholic, codependent relationships, and I was living on the breadline, to where I am now, healthy, wealthy, and happy. And so you can see this in action. I'm going to share an example from my life where I was out of alignment and I moved myself into alignment. I tell you what, when you are living in alignment, everything is so much easier. Yeah, it's challenging, and yet it feels expansive. You don't feel constricted. Your anxiety levels go down. You have more ease, more freedom. And what starts to happen when you live in alignment, your intuition really speaks to you, and you notice and you receive so many synchronicities in your life. So the way that this showed up in my life was last year. I was drinking booze, and years and years ago, 2015, I taught myself how not to be an alcoholic. Before then, I was a raging alcoholic. I used to binge and then stop drinking, binge and stop drinking, tell myself I wasn't an alcoholic, but actually I was. And what I realized in 2015 is I drank to numb out my feelings. And at the same time, around the same time, I was studying to be a psychotherapist. So I stopped drinking back then, but between 2015 and 2023, the drink started to come back in. And what I realized was I was drinking to celebrate life, to celebrate the good moments as a reward. So anyway, go back to last year, what I noticed was every single night I was having at least 2 glasses of wine. It became a habit. And the thing is, when something becomes a habit, you start to do it daily, it becomes ritualistic. It becomes part of who you are. And yet every single morning I would wake up and I would feel unhappy. My anxiety would be raised. Bear in mind also, I would wake up in the middle of the night, my mouth would feel dry, I would have headaches, and there would be a very quiet voice in the background going, this isn't for you, you're not a drinker, you don't need to be drinking, this is not where you're going. Now, at the beginning, I heard this voice, but I ignored it. Do you know how I ignored it? By drinking some more. This is why you do all your habits. You know, it could be eating, could be drinking, could be swiping on one of those apps on your phone. It does not matter what it is, but the thing is, you do have this voice, and it's up to you whether you're listening to it or whether you're ignoring it. It's a choice. And yet I carried on drinking all the way through last year, and yet I started to write out who I wanted to become in my morning pages. So this is a journaling practice that I have, and it's from a book by Julia Cameron. It's called The Artist's Way. And so I started to write out, I'm a woman who doesn't drink. I am a woman who doesn't drink. I'm a woman who enjoys being sober. And then because I started to call it in my journaling, I started to see more women that didn't drink around me. And then all of a sudden, and it wasn't all of a sudden, it was like a 3 or 4 month lead into this. I started to write about it in my journaling around September 2023. And when I hit the 1st of January 2024, I was like, we're done. We're no longer drinking. And then this journey of not drinking was challenging. It was challenging, and it's less challenging now. I'm about 6 months into this journey. And one of the things that I did was to go to all the places that I used to drink alcohol. So I would go for an afternoon drink at an Italian restaurant, or I would go out for a drink in the evening, or I would buy a bottle of wine for the evening. And what I did was keep doing these same things, but I did without alcohol. Yes, it was challenging, and yet the thing is, if you don't challenge yourself, you're not going to grow. These challenges are there to forge you into the woman you are becoming, and you need to be able to sit with the discomfort, the uncomfortability of not numbing yourself out. This is where your growth lies. As I pursued this alcohol-free journey, my anxiety lowered all the way down, and I stopped arguing with myself, because that's what I found myself doing last year. I was drinking, there was a part of me that knew I shouldn't really be drinking. It didn't serve me. I didn't feel very good. It was making me kind of numb and a bit floofy headed. The thing is, that part of me quietened all the way down. So as I'm sashaying through this year, I'm no longer at war with myself. I'm no longer fighting myself. I'm no longer having a go at myself, because I'm upholding higher standards for myself. And I get it. You could be shaking your head at me, go, this sounds too hard. And yet you living your life where you're numbing, running, denying yourself from who you really are, that's hard, and you're going to get nowhere. You're going to get nowhere. I tell you what, you fast track your life for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, you're going to be doing the same thing, and yet you're going to be older. Now you take the same thing on, and you're removing the habits and the patterns that no longer serve you, and you fast track that out into 2, 3, 4, 5 years time, and all I see is endless growth, endless possibilities, endless opportunities, because I am living in excellence with myself. So the question you need to ask yourself every single morning, make a commitment in your morning pages, your journaling practice: what am I doing that is out of alignment with who I am becoming, with my highest self? Keep asking that question. Practice the art of patience, practice the art of discipline, because you've got to keep asking yourself it every single day, and then wait for the answers to come in. Then get ready, gird your loins, my friend, because that's when you're going to have to take some action, and you're going to start to do things differently. And that's when all your fears rush in. But baby, that's where your growth is. That's where your expansion is. That's where the life of the high standards woman lives.